Hi, I'm Sabrina. Welcome to Bites and Brew Kitchen. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a coffee cake. This is one of my favorite cakes. It's really easy to make and a perfect way to have cake for breakfast if you just pretend it's coffee. So let's get started. So what we're going to need for this coffee cake is a bit of self-raising flour and baking powder and salt, and I've combined all of that together here. Some eggs, butter, caster sugar, some instant coffee, which this is totally dependent on how strong you want the cake. So I like mine a little bit stronger, so I have a little bit extra, some hot water, and icing sugar. And that's it. So we're going to start by making the coffee liquid that we're going to put into the cake. And we just take a little hot water and mix it into your coffee. And you want this to be really thick so that it doesn't water the batter down too much. Sometimes it doesn't want to mix all the way through just because it isn't a lot of water. So just go ahead and take an extra second to mix it. Now that that's pretty well mixed, we're going to go and start creaming our butter and our sugar. So we're going to put it all into the bowl, starting on a low speed. Now as the mixture is starting to combine, you can start to increase your speed gradually, making sure that you're always stopping to scrape down the sides of the bowl so that everything's getting mixed through evenly. Whew, my arm is tired. So now that our butter and our sugar is well mixed together, we're going to add our eggs one at a time. You don't want to do them all at once just so that the mixture doesn't get overwhelmed. Once this is all well mixed together, you can add your coffee into it. And now that we have our mixture, our wet ingredients all together, we're going to add all our dry ingredients, which again is just the flour, the baking powder, and salt. So I like to do this in 2 separate additions just so that it mixes through better. Now that that's almost fully mixed through, I'm going to add the rest of the flour. That's it, that's our batter done. I like to go through and just mix it by hand, just with my spatula, just to check again if everything's all mixed well. Sometimes you might have some dry spots on the bottom, so just go through by hand, mix well together, and that's it. So now that our batter's all done, we're just going to divide it evenly between these 2 pans. And the way I like to do it is just do a dollop in each until I run out of batter. Once I've done most of the batter, I like to weigh it just so that it's even, and then adjust accordingly. Now I'm just going to level the batter out. So now that our cake batter is in its tins, we can go and bake it. Okay, so now we're going to get started with making the frosting. We're first going to start out with making our bit of coffee like we did for the cake batter. And for the frosting, you do just want to be careful of not adding too much water. So I'm going to start with a little bit and add more if I need to. Okay, so now that our coffee is all the way mixed through, we're just going to start with the buttercream. So we're going to put all our butter. And I like to start with half of the icing sugar. Now that that's pretty well mixed through, I'm just going to add the rest of the icing sugar in. Now we're just going to add our coffee in. So depending on how much liquid you put in your coffee, your frosting might be a bit too watery to actually put on the cake and set. So if that is the case, you can just put it in the fridge and it'll set, butter will firm up, and you'll be good to go. In my case, I think the frosting looks good, so I'm just going to leave it as it is. If you want more frosting, you obviously can just make more. This makes kind of a moderate amount. So now we can start with frosting our cake. Okay, so now that our cakes are out of the oven and cooled, we can start frosting. So I'm going to take my cakes upside down and frost them that way just so you get a nice flat layer on top. I like to put about a third of the frosting in the center of the cake and then reserve the most for the top. Okay, so now that we have a nice layer of frosting in the center, I'm just going to put the second layer of cake on the top and start frosting it. You don't have to worry too much about the layer in the middle just because no one will see it, so it's fine if it's not super perfect. So now that we've frosted our coffee cake, it's ready to serve. Thanks for watching. Bye.